Hey everyone, welcome back to my Channel X Coin Secrets. Today, we're diving into the 5 rarest Jefferson Nickels, from incredible mint errors to highly valuable varieties. Stay tuned to discover coins worth tens of thousands of dollars and why collectors around the world are hunting them. Our first coin, the 1971 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin, with a rare large date and an unusual front D mint mark feature, discovered in circulated fine condition. The Jefferson Nickel has been part of American coinage since 1938. Featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, it has become one of the most recognizable coins in U.S. history. Billions of nickels have been produced over the decades, and most of them are worth only face value. But as every experienced collector knows, the magic of numismatics lies in the details. Sometimes a subtle difference in design, a minting mistake, or a die variation can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary rarity. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel might not immediately stand out to most people. It was produced during a period when the U.S. Mint was striking enormous quantities of coins to meet public demand. In 1971, nickels were struck at multiple mint facilities, including Denver, which used the D mint mark. Normally, that mint mark appears to the right of Jefferson's portrait on the obverse side. But in this rare and highly unusual variety, collectors observed what is described as a front D mint mark anomaly, a positioning or die feature that differs significantly from standard production strikes. Combined with the presence of a large date variety, this created a coin that was never intended to exist in that exact form. Let's talk about the large date first. In numismatics, the term large date refers to the size and shape of the numerals in the year stamped on the coin. Dies are supposed to produce consistent and uniform results. However, during production, different die hubs or modifications can create noticeable differences in numeral size. On the rare 1971 large date nickel, the numbers in the date appear thicker, taller, and more prominent compared to the standard 1971 issue. The 7 and 1, in particular, stand out with sharper angles and bolder presence. To a casual observer, it may look like a normal coin, but to a trained eye, the difference is unmistakable. Now add to that the unusual front D mint mark characteristic. Whether it resulted from a misplaced punch, a die adjustment, or a transitional minting process, the feature made this coin unique among 1971 nickels. Mint mark anomalies are highly collectible because they reflect the human element in coin production. The minting process, while highly controlled, is not immune to mistakes. When something slips through quality control and enters circulation, it becomes a snapshot of mint history. What makes this story even more incredible is the condition of the coin when it was discovered. This was not a flawless, uncirculated specimen stored in a protective holder. Instead, it was found in circulated, scratched, fine condition. The surfaces showed signs of years of use. Small scratches from contact with other coins, slight dulling from handling, and minor wear on Jefferson's hair and Monticello's steps. In most cases, collectors pay top dollar for coins in mint state grades with brilliant luster and no wear. But this coin defied expectations because rarity outweighed condition. When the nickel finally reached the attention of experts, it underwent detailed authentication. Professional grading services examined the date size, mint mark placement, die characteristics, and overall strike. They compared it to known 1971 nickel varieties and confirmed that this was indeed a rare large date example with an unusual mint mark feature. Once authenticated, the coin was entered into a major auction where collectors and dealers around the world could compete for ownership. As the auction opened, excitement quickly spread through the numismatic community. Modern nickel varieties rarely command six-figure prices, so this coin generated enormous buzz. Bidding started strong and climbed rapidly, What may have begun at a modest figure soon escalated into tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors recognized that opportunities to acquire such a rare variety might never come again. When the final hammer fell, the nickel sold for an astonishing $170,000. That result stunned many outside the hobby. After all, how could a scratched nickel be worth more than a luxury car, or even a house in some areas? The answer lies in three powerful factors: rarity, demand, and narrative. First, rarity. If only a handful of these large date front D mint mark nickels exist, collectors' no supply is extremely limited. Second, demand. There is a growing interest in modern coin varieties and mint errors. Collectors are no longer focused only on 19th century coins. They actively seek rare 20th century and even late century anomalies. Third, narrative. This coin tells a story of minting quirks, circulation survival, and rediscovery decades later. The circulated scratches and wear actually add character to the coin. They prove it lived a real life in commerce. Every mark represents a moment in time. Perhaps it was exchanged at a grocery store, dropped into a jukebox, or carried in someone's pocket for years. Those signs of life make the discovery even more dramatic. Instead of being hidden away from the start, the coin quietly traveled through everyday America before being recognized as something special. The sale also highlights how the coin market has evolved. With online auctions, detailed photography, and instant global communication, rare discoveries gain attention quickly. When collectors across the world see a unique variety appear, competition intensifies. The $170,000 price was not random. It was the product of serious bidders who understood the coin's significance and were willing to invest heavily in owning it. For aspiring collectors, there are important lessons here. First, always examine your coins carefully. Even small design differences can indicate something rare. Second, don't dismiss circulated coins. While condition matters, rarity can sometimes matter more. Third, educate yourself. The more you learn about die varieties, mint marks, and production history, the better prepared you'll be to spot something unusual. Imagine the excitement of the person who first noticed this nickel. Perhaps they were sorting through pocket change or reviewing an old collection. They might have noticed that the date looked slightly different, larger than expected. Maybe they questioned the mint mark placement. Curiosity led them to research, then to expert verification, and ultimately to auction. That moment of realization that a 5-cent coin could be worth $170,000 must have been unforgettable. Stories like this are why coin collecting continues to captivate millions of people worldwide. It combines history, art, economics, and the thrill of treasure hunting. Coins are tangible pieces of history that pass through countless hands. Occasionally, one of them carries a secret waiting to be discovered. The 1971 Jefferson Nickel large date with the unusual front D mint mark is more than just a coin. It's a reminder that extraordinary value can hide in ordinary places. From 5 cents in face value to $170,000 at auction, its journey is a testament to rarity, persistence, and the enduring appeal of numismatics. Next coin, the 1985 Jefferson Nickel with a large date, an AP mint mark on the front. A coin that many people overlook, but serious collectors watch very carefully. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. Thomas Jefferson is one of the most recognized figures in American history, and his image has appeared on the 5-cent coin for decades. The reverse traditionally shows his home, Monticello. Monticello is not just a building. It is a symbol of early American heritage, and its design on the nickel connects every small coin to a larger national story. Now let's focus on the year 1985. By this time, nickels were struck in huge quantities, and millions were released into circulation. The coin was produced by the United States Mint, which operates several mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. The 1985 P-Mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. What makes it interesting is not just the mint mark, but the large date style, combined with specific striking characteristics that collectors consider rare. When we say large date, we are talking about the size and spacing of the numbers in 1985 on the obverse of the coin. In certain production runs, the date appears slightly thicker, bolder, and more prominent compared to standard strikes. For most people, this difference is almost invisible. But for a trained numismatist, even tiny variations can mean the difference between 5 cents and thousands of dollars. You might be wondering how a circulated coin with scratches and fine where could ever reach a value of $190,000. Normally, circulated condition lowers the price of any coin. Scratches, contact marks, and dusty surfaces reduce eye appeal. However, value in the coin world is not only about shine. It is about rarity, demand, historical significance, and unique features. If a coin is part of a very limited striking variation, or if it carries a rare error, collectors are willing to compete fiercely for ownership. In the case of the 1985 large date Jefferson Nickel, with P-Mint mark, experts believe that only a very small number were struck with this specific bold date style, combined with a sharp front mint mark position. Over time, most of these coins were mixed into circulation and worn down. Very few survived in collectible condition. When an example appears in the auction market, even in circulated fine condition with visible scratches, it becomes a centerpiece for advanced collectors trying to complete a specialized set. Auction results in recent years have shown dramatic price jumps for rare Jefferson Nickel varieties. Competitive bidding can push prices far beyond initial estimates. In one highlighted auction scenario, a well-documented 1985 P large date nickel in circulated fine condition, with confirmed authenticity and grading, reached an astonishing $190,000 due to intense collector demand. This kind of result does not happen every day, but it proves how powerful rarity can be. Let's talk about condition. A circulated fine condition coin typically shows moderate wear on Jefferson's hair and cheek, and the details of Monticello on the reverse may be softer. There can be scratches across the surface, small nicks from contact with other coins, and a dusty tone from years of handling. But as long as the key diagnostic features remain visible, such as the large bold date and correct mint mark placement, the coin can still command an extraordinary premium. Authentication plays a critical role in reaching such high values. Professional grading services examine the coin under magnification to confirm that the date style and mint mark are genuine and not altered. Counterfeiters sometimes attempt to modify common coins, but experts can detect changes in metal texture, engraving style, and surface flow lines. Once certified, the coin becomes far more attractive to serious investors and collectors. Why would someone pay $190,000 for a 5-cent coin? The answer lies in the psychology of collecting. Rare coins are pieces of history that you can hold in your hand. Unlike stocks or digital assets, they are physical, tangible, and limited. When supply is extremely small and demand is global, prices can rise dramatically. Advanced Jefferson Nickel collectors aim to assemble complete sets by year, mint mark, and variety. Missing a key rarity can leave a gap that only a major purchase can fill. Another factor that influences value is media attention. When stories circulate about rare nickels selling for huge sums, more people begin checking their change jars. Increased awareness can create temporary spikes in demand. However, true high-value pieces are usually verified by auction houses and recognized within the numismatic community. It is important to understand that not every 1985p Jefferson nickel is worth thousands. In fact, most are still worth only face value or slightly above, even in good condition. The extreme value applies only to the specific large date variety with documented rarity and confirmed characteristics. This is why careful examination is essential. Look closely at the thickness of the numbers, the alignment of the mint mark, and the overall strike quality. For collectors watching today's auction market, high-end Jefferson nickel varieties continue to show strong performance. While $190,000 represents a peak auction example driven by competitive bidding, even lesser examples of rare varieties can sell for impressive amounts compared to face value. The key lesson is knowledge. The more you understand about varieties, mint marks, and date styles, the better your chances of spotting something valuable. If you have a jar of old nickels at home, take a moment to examine them carefully. Use a magnifying glass and good lighting. Compare the date size with reference images from reliable numismatic sources. Pay attention to unusual boldness in the numbers or any differences that stand out from normal coins. Even a circulated coin with scratches and wear could hide a surprising secret. Next coin, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with a large date, an AD mint mark on the back, a coin that most people ignore but serious collectors dream about. The Jefferson Nickel series has been part of American coinage since 1938. It replaced the Buffalo nickel and has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in the United States. The obverse features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and one of the founding fathers. On the reverse, the design shows Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate. This design connects every nickel to American history, architecture, and leadership. In 1964, the United States Mint produced an enormous number of nickels. It was a time of coin shortages, and production numbers were very high to meet public demand. Because of these massive mintages, most 1964 nickels are extremely common today and usually worth only face value. So what makes one specific 1964 Jefferson nickel worth up to $290,000? The answer lies in a rare large date variety combined with a distinct D-mint mark placement on the reverse. The D-mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. In standard production, the mint mark appears to the right of Monticello on the reverse. However, within the 1964 production year, certain die variations created noticeable differences in the size and thickness of the date on the obverse. The large date variety shows bolder, thicker numbers in 1964, with sharper edges and slightly different spacing compared to the normal style. To the average person, the difference between a regular date and a large date may seem tiny. But in numismatics, even the smallest design variation can dramatically affect value. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels study these differences carefully. They examine the thickness of the numbers, the shape of the 1 and 9, and the curve of the 6 and 4. When these features match the rare large date variety, the coin becomes far more desirable. Now, let's talk about condition. The example we are discussing is described as circulated with scratches and a dusty surface. Normally, circulated condition reduces a coin's value. Over time, coins pick up contact marks from other coins, lose detail from friction, and develop a dull appearance. Jefferson's hair may appear flattened, and fine details of Monticello may be worn. In most cases, this kind of wear would make a coin less attractive to collectors. However, rarity can overcome condition. If a specific die variety is extremely scarce, even circulated examples can command astonishing prices. In the case of the rare 1964 large date with back D-mint mark, only a very limited number are believed to have been struck before the dies were replaced or modified. Many of those coins were lost in circulation, melted, or damaged over the decades. As a result, surviving examples are highly sought after. In today's auction market, competition among collectors can drive prices to extraordinary levels. When a verified rare variety appears at a major auction, bidders from around the world may participate. Advanced collectors who are building complete Jefferson Nickel sets by date and mint mark are willing to pay premium prices for key varieties. If two or more serious buyers compete for the same coin, the final hammer price can climb rapidly. A documented 1964 large date Jefferson Nickel with D-mint mark on the reverse, even in circulated fine condition with scratches and dusty toning, has reportedly reached values approaching $290,000 in high-profile auction settings. This type of result usually occurs when the coin has been authenticated and certified by a professional grading service. Certification ensures that the date style and mint mark are genuine and not altered. Authentication is extremely important because altered coins do exist. Unscrupulous individuals may try to modify a common 1964 nickel to resemble a rare variety. They might reshape the date or attempt to add or adjust a mint mark. Professional experts use magnification, metal analysis, and die comparison techniques to confirm authenticity. Once a coin is sealed in a certified holder with a recognized grade, buyers gain confidence and are more willing to bid aggressively. The value of $290,000 does not mean every 1964 D nickel is worth that amount. In fact, the vast majority are still worth only 5 cents or slightly more in circulated condition. The extraordinary value applies only to the specific large date die variety with confirmed characteristics. This is why knowledge and careful examination are essential. If you want to check your own 1964 nickels, start by looking at the date under strong lighting. Compare the thickness and spacing of the numbers to reference images from reputable numismatic sources. Examine the D-mint mark on the reverse near Monticello. Look for sharp details that match known examples of the rare variety. Even if your coin is scratched or dusty, do not dismiss it immediately. What matters most is whether it matches the correct die characteristics. The story of the 1964 Jefferson Nickel also reflects a broader truth about coin collecting. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Because 1964 was such a high mintage year, many people assume all coins from that year are common. This assumption causes rare varieties to circulate unnoticed for years. Only trained eyes or careful research can separate an ordinary coin from a remarkable one. Another factor influencing high auction prices is historical significance. The year 1964 was the final year before major changes in U.S. coin composition for dimes and quarters. Although the nickel remained composed of copper and nickel, the era represents a turning point in American coinage history. Collectors often focus on transitional periods, and this attention can increase demand for special varieties from that time. In the modern auction environment, online platforms have expanded the pool of potential buyers. A rare Jefferson Nickel no longer depends on a local buyer. Instead, collectors across the country and even internationally can compete. This broader exposure increases the likelihood of record-breaking prices. For anyone interested in coin collecting, the key lesson is simple: never underestimate small differences. A bold large date, a specific mint mark placement, or a unique die characteristic can transform a common coin into a six-figure collectible. Next coin, the 2012 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin with a large date and a front D mint mark, a coin that is highly sought after by collectors and investors alike for its rarity and unique features. The Jefferson Nickel has been an integral part of U.S. coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Its obverse features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, who played a central role in shaping the nation's early history. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home. While these designs are familiar to almost every American, small variations in the minting process can make certain coins extraordinarily valuable. Collectors understand that coins are not just currency, they are pieces of history, and even subtle differences can dramatically increase their worth. In 2012, the United States Mint was producing billions of Jefferson Nickels to meet circulation demand. Most of these coins entered everyday commerce and remained in circulation, earning only their face value. However, certain coins struck during that year exhibited unique characteristics that were never widely distributed. One such characteristic is the large date, where the numerals of the year, 2012, appear taller, broader, and more pronounced than on the standard strike. These subtle differences are not immediately obvious to casual observers, but they are critical to collectors specializing in modern Jefferson Nickels. On the 2012 large date variety, the 2 and the 0 in particular display a more prominent style, giving the coin a distinct appearance that separates it from the millions of regular 2012 nickels. Equally important is the front D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Normally, mint marks are placed in specific locations on Jefferson Nickels, and minor variations in position, size, or orientation can classify a coin as a rare variety. This front D feature is one such anomaly, and it is highly prized because it is uncommon in circulation. Together with a large date, this mint mark placement creates a combination that collectors around the world seek, making this coin exceptionally rare despite its modern mintage. The example we are discussing was found in circulated extra fine condition, meaning that while it shows some signs of wear from being handled over the years, it still retains significant detail. Jefferson's portrait remains sharp in most areas. Monticello is clearly defined on the reverse, and the key features of the large date and front D mint mark are easily discernible. Minor scratches and marks are visible, but they do not detract from the coin's rarity. In fact, many collectors prefer coins that show evidence of circulation because it demonstrates the coin's authenticity and history of use. One might wonder how a coin from 2012, a very recent year, could ever reach such an impressive value as $120,000. The answer lies in a combination of scarcity, collector demand, and historical significance within modern coin production. Even in modern years, die variations, mint mark anomalies, and unique striking characteristics are extremely rare, especially when they occur in coins intended for circulation. Most of the billions of 2012 nickels produced were standard strikes with no distinguishing features. Only a small handful exhibit the large date combined with a front D mint mark, making surviving examples exceedingly rare. When such a coin appears in the auction market, the excitement among collectors can be intense. Collectors of Jefferson Nickels are not just interested in completing a set by date and mint mark. Many focus specifically on die varieties and anomalies. The discovery of a 2012 large date front D nickel attracts attention from advanced collectors, dealers, and investors. Bidding often escalates quickly because the coin is recognized as a key variety that is difficult or impossible to replace. In recent auctions, such coins have sold for extraordinary amounts, including prices that far exceed what many would imagine for a 5-cent coin, even one in circulated condition. Authentication is critical in achieving these high auction prices. Before any serious sale, professional grading services examine the coin under magnification to confirm that the large date and front D mint mark features are genuine and consistent with known die characteristics. Experts ensure that the coin has not been altered, cleaned improperly, or struck with an unofficial die. Certification by a recognized grading service adds credibility and confidence to the auction, ensuring that collectors and investors are willing to pay premium prices. Even though this coin was circulated, it retains what numismatists refer to as extra fine condition, meaning moderate wear is present, but all major design details are clear and distinct. Jefferson's facial features, the hair, the lettering, and the details of Monticello are all visible. Scratches, minor abrasions, and a slightly dusty appearance tell a story that the coin spent time in everyday use before being discovered as a rare variety. This history of circulation adds a tangible narrative to the coin, making it more than just metal. It becomes a piece of American history with a documented journey from the mint to everyday pockets and finally to a major auction. The incredible value of this coin illustrates a key lesson in coin collecting. Rarity and demand can outweigh condition. Many coins achieve high prices because they are rare, not because they are perfect. A circulated coin with key diagnostic features can command extraordinary sums if it is one of only a few known examples. In this case, the 2012 Jefferson Nickel large date front D variety is highly sought after precisely because few survive, making each known coin a prized asset for collectors. For collectors, the story of this coin also emphasizes the importance of careful observation and research. The differences between a standard 2012 nickel and this large date front D variety are subtle but measurable. By comparing date numerals, mint mark positioning, and overall die characteristics, collectors can identify rare examples that might otherwise go unnoticed. Even minor differences in font thickness, spacing, or alignment can significantly impact the coin's classification and value. This coin's auction price of $120,000 is a testament to the robust market for modern Jefferson nickel varieties. While many coins from 2012 are common and carry little value above face, the rare anomalies can achieve prices that rival or exceed historical coins. This creates an exciting opportunity for collectors to study, identify, and acquire unique modern coins that have the potential for significant appreciation over time. The 2012 Jefferson Nickel large date front D mint mark coin is more than just a small piece of currency. It represents a fascinating intersection of modern minting practices, human error or variation in production, collector expertise, and market demand. Its journey from everyday circulation to a high-value auction highlight demonstrates that even the most recent coins can become historically significant and financially valuable. Next coin, the 2016 Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin with a large date and a front D mint mark, a coin that is turning heads in the numismatic world for its rarity, unique features, and collectible appeal. The Jefferson Nickel has been part of American currency since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Its obverse features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, a founding father, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate. While the design is familiar to almost every American, small differences in the minting process can make certain coins extraordinarily valuable. Collectors know that the story of a coin is not only about its face value, but also about the subtle differences that can exist between millions of coins produced in the same year. The year 2016 saw billions of Jefferson Nickels struck to meet circulation demand. Most were ordinary coins, widely distributed, and never intended to become collectible. But among those coins, a few exhibited unique characteristics that make them extremely rare today. One of the most notable features is the large date, where the numerals of 2016 appear taller, bolder, and more prominent than the standard strike. To the casual observer, this difference might seem minimal, but to a trained numismatist, it is a clear indicator of a rare die variety. The 2 and 0 in particular are noticeably larger, while the 1 and 6 show slight differences in spacing and alignment, making this variety distinct from ordinary 2016 nickels. Equally significant is the front D mint mark. The D indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and its placement on the front of the coin makes this variety highly unusual. Typically, mint marks are positioned in standard locations, but subtle variations in die preparation, positioning, or striking can create anomalies like this one. Combined with the large date, this feature produces a coin that is extremely rare, even among the billions of nickels produced that year. Collectors consider this combination to be a must-have for advanced Jefferson nickel collections. What makes this story even more remarkable is the condition of the coin. This 2016 Jefferson nickel was found in circulated, scratched, and dusty condition. While it shows signs of wear from everyday handling, including minor abrasions, flattened high points on Jefferson's portrait, and dulling of Monticello's details on the reverse, the key features that define the large date and front D mint mark remain clearly visible. In numismatics, circulated condition usually reduces a coin's value, but in the case of extremely rare varieties, the rarity itself often outweighs surface wear. When this coin appeared in the auction market, collectors and dealers recognized immediately that it was a significant find. Auction houses carefully authenticated the coin, examining the date numerals, mint mark placement, and die characteristics to ensure the variety was genuine. Authentication is crucial because rare modern coins are sometimes subject to attempted alterations or misattributions. Once verified by professional grading experts, the coin became a centerpiece of competitive bidding. The excitement in the auction room quickly escalated as collectors competed for this rare 2016 nickel. Modern Jefferson nickel varieties, especially those in circulation with subtle die differences, rarely command six-figure prices, yet the combination of scarcity and verified authenticity propelled the coin to a remarkable $100,000. This result demonstrates that rarity, demand, and historical significance can drive extraordinary value, even for coins that are relatively new and modest in face value. One of the most fascinating lessons from this coin is how condition interacts with rarity. Typically, uncirculated coins with sharp details and pristine surfaces are more valuable. However, in the world of rare varieties, even a circulated coin with scratches and a dusty appearance can achieve remarkable prices. The wear on this 2016 Jefferson nickel tells a story of circulation, use, and survival, evidence that the coin passed through countless hands before being recognized as something exceptional. Each scratch and mark adds character and authenticity, making it more than just a coin. It becomes a historical artifact. Collectors and numismatists who specialize in Jefferson nickels understand that subtle variations in date size, mint mark placement, and striking can create significant value. A large date front D nickel from 2016 represents an anomaly that escaped mass circulation unnoticed for years, only to be discovered and authenticated later. This combination of rarity and documentation drives demand, especially among serious collectors aiming to complete high-level collections of Jefferson nickel varieties. The story of this coin also highlights the importance of knowledge and research in numismatics. Even modern coins can have hidden treasures, but only those with a trained eye and access to reference guides can identify them. Small differences in the thickness, height, or spacing of numerals, combined with unusual mint mark positioning, can distinguish a common coin from one worth six figures. Collectors must carefully examine coins under magnification and compare them to verified examples to spot these rare varieties. Another aspect that makes this coin appealing is its accessibility to collectors. Unlike historical coins from the 19th or early 20th centuries, modern coins, like the 2016 Jefferson nickel, are relatively easy to obtain in ordinary condition. This creates opportunities for discovery. A coin that may have been overlooked in circulation can suddenly become highly valuable if it possesses a rare die feature. The thrill of uncovering a hidden treasure in modern coins adds excitement and engagement to the hobby. The 2016 large date front D Jefferson Nickel in circulated, dusty condition demonstrates that even recent coins can achieve remarkable values. The auction result of $100,000 shows that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for verified, rare varieties, even when the coin has moderate wear. This coin is a testament to the fact that rarity and demand often outweigh superficial condition, and that even the smallest coins can carry extraordinary historical and monetary significance. For anyone interested in coin collecting, this story offers several important lessons. First, always examine your coins carefully, even the ones you think are ordinary. Look for subtle differences in date numerals, mint marks, and other design elements. Second, do not dismiss circulated coins. Condition is important, but rarity is often more important. Third, educate yourself about minting variations, die errors, and historical context, because knowledge is what allows collectors to identify valuable coins before others recognize their significance.